Today is a sad day. Today we say goodbye to a legend of Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, a legend for everyone except Manchester United, I'm not gonna lie. Pastor, before you carry on, I'd like to say a few words now, if you don't mind. In fact, the amount of words that was in the sentence I just said, that was more words than Ruben Amorim had wins at Manchester United. Wow, you know, that means a lot, honestly. I can't even know. He was shit, wasn't he? It has been a fucking mental week, hasn't it? And if you want to see me chat more about it, the likes of Enzo Maresca, Ruben Amorim, Celtics manager getting sacked, I'm actually live tonight chatting shit about football and playing some Football Manager, so make sure to go and check it out. I want to see you guys there. Link is down in the description. I'm actually devastated, lads. I can't even lie. After 14 months in charge, Manchester United have finally decided to sack Ruben Amorim. The experiment started off with pain, all right, and featured more pain in the middle, but at the end, well, there was more pain. Ruben Amorim, not him, as it so turns out. Today, we're gonna reminisce and see where it all went wrong. Hiring him. That's where it went wrong. I'm actually gutted. Genuinely, I woke up, someone told me the news, yeah, they'd seen a notification on their phone, and I was genuinely gutted, and I think that should tell Manchester United fans how they should feel. If there's any United fans that are on the fence, you know, if any of you lot are like, oh man, maybe he should have been given more time, maybe we should stop sacking managers, we all wanted bro to stay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It has ruined my week, knowing that Ruben Amorim is no longer at your football club. But I tell you whose week it hasn't ruined? Ruben himself, bro. He was already pictured smiling with his gal. Now, this is a violation, you know. He'd been out of the job for 25 minutes at this stage. That man hadn't even taken United out of his Twitter bio yet, and he's already beaming. To be fair, though, he'll need a new job soon. He'll be trying to work out what part-time hospitality role that he needs to take, scanning through his tactics board at the job centre this afternoon. The club, in their statement, said they'd reluctantly come to the decision that Ruben will be losing his job. There shouldn't be anything reluctant about it, ladies and gentlemen. Your supporters are conducting a new documentary as we speak called Surviving Amorim. They were practically making love to their television sets this morning upon clicking onto Sky Sports News and seeing that yellow banner go along the bottom of the screen. He'll be devastated, leaving Carrington, saying one final goodbye to his cousin Diogo Dalot. So maybe questions should be asked of some of the other clubs in the league. For example, Ruben Amorim being the worst Manchester United manager since World War II, and he's 3 points behind Arne Slot's Liverpool.
No way, say you swear to God, say wallahi, bro.
But one man that is gonna be delighted with this development this morning is Kobbie Mainoo. This man has been free. He was walking into training this morning looking like a new man. And he might not be a Manchester United player anymore, but Alejandro Garnacho clearly will be happy to see the back of him after liking a post of Fabrizio Romano saying the Portuguese manager had lost his job. He was loving life whilst getting ready to go to Cobham this morning. Extra bit of blusher and everything. It does obviously beg the question as to who will be taking over. I've seen Manchester United supporters already looking for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to return, though I don't think the Norwegian will want to when he realises that Luke Shaw's still employed. Darren Fletcher, of course, will be taking over the job as a caretaker for the moment. Of course, he's already on Manchester United staff right now, and his two sons are going to be finding out they're playing in the double pivot together against Burnley, live from their television sets at home.
Did I just get fucking drafted? Dude, where the fuck did they get this? Did I just get fucking, where did they get this video?
Manchester United had been linked with Oliver Glasner, the current Crystal Palace manager, for a long time, even before Ruben Amorim got the sack. Now, in fairness, that would potentially work because, you know, Oliver Glasner plays a 5 at the back at Crystal Palace right now, though Amad Diallo won't be pleased when he gets back from AFCON and realises he's still got to play wing back. I'll be guiding INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe with their lack of footballing knowledge towards former Manchester United footballer and Red Devils legend Wayne Rooney in the attempts of getting them to hire him as their new boss. Meanwhile, there's also links in the media suggesting former Three Lions coach Gareth Southgate, a man who got us to 2 finals of the Euros, but he will be ready to bring back the most almightiest of Harams, Jordan Henderson and Eric Dyer, his first 2 signings at Old Trafford.
If you are backing this shit, you are an enabler. Come and find me. I'm in the car park now.
Now, I think personally we should take a look at Amorim's highlights, you know? And it's crazy because when he joined, there was this excitement. He was this young, up-and-coming manager, and yeah, I feel like Manchester United have gone through every archetype of boss up to this point. You know, you've had Louis van Gaal, old school, just beat the crap out of people to not physically, but as in like just thrown people's heads together to actually try and get something out of them. Well-respected coach, and also liked bringing through the youth, to be honest with you, in his time there. Jose Mourinho, born winner. That's all he does is just, well, at the time, that's all he did. He just goes and wins stuff. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, kind of unknown, has a great affinity to the club and, of course, the fans. And then David Moyes was there as well. But Ruben's legacy, one of them, will be that he quite literally created a man's career from not being able to go to the barbers. He changed a man's life for the worse. All this man, he's run out of shampoo. He has to get new shampoo every 2 days because United haven't even come close to getting 5 wins in a row. I mean, it took a year for him to even get 2 wins on the bounce. Back-to-back victories. I think it's 13 Premier League wins in 14 months. That's a joke. Moncler coat sales are, of course, at an all-time low now. But whilst, of course, Kobbie Mainoo gate was bad, gifting Tottenham of all teams a trophy in the Europa League final was a disaster, and saying this was the worst Manchester United team in all of its history was really, really telling. The Grimsby Town Carabao Cup defeat has got to be the absolute pinnacle of it all. Going out on penalties to a League Two side at a point where you needed a win. You had to have a win. This was the banker. This was the one that couldn't fail. This was the one that shouldn't have failed, and yet it did. Down there on the touchline doing up tactics boards. I mean, Grimsby were taking the piss out of them the next week. They did their next League Two game, which they lost, by the way. In the build-up, they got their manager out to announce the starting 11 with a tactics board. You're getting bantered by Grimsby Town. This couldn't continue. They're coming off the back, obviously, of a 1-1 draw against Leeds, which is bad, but Leeds have got good results against other teams in this league. We drew against them. Chelsea lost to them. Manchester City struggled to beat them. They drew against Wolves, to be fair. Yeah, they drew 1-1 against Wolves, actually. No, I take it all back. Drawing 1-1 against Wolves, who in fairness have then gone on to win against West Ham in a relegation clash. Since that point, if you were to look at any club about to face Wolves, if any team in the league was going to hand them a point, it was probably going to be Manchester United. I just feel like for all the stuff, all the things that Ruben Amorim and Manchester United have gone through, for this to be the straw that broke the camel's back is kind of crazy to me. I mean, I think it's probably testament to the way in which the club is being run or the way that the higher-ups making decisions that, in actuality, it wasn't results that got him the sack. Otherwise, he'd have been gone ages ago. It was actually his comments after the Leeds game. It didn't take the loss to Grimsby or being statistically the worst manager in Manchester United's history since World War II to get him the sack. It was what he said in a press conference instead. I mean, I can't highlight this enough. Like, there were screenshots popping up of him, you know, he was on par with Roberto Martinez at Wigan. You know, Roberto Martinez actually did a pretty good job to keep Wigan up half the time, but if you're a Manchester United manager and your win percentage is being compared to Roberto Martinez's time at Wigan, whether he kept them in the Premier League or not, that is a disaster. If it's being compared to Venky's era or Venky's Premier League era, Blackburn Rovers, that is a disaster. Those are the alarm bells, and I've seen Manchester United supporters, okay, say that, look, this cycle's just going to carry on. This cycle's going to continue. It's not the management, it's the board, it's the ownership, it's the players, and I totally understand that, and I think more than one thing can be correct, okay? Yes, by all means, have stability at a club. I literally, the other day, was just talking about Chelsea and how they should have kept Enzo Maresca because that club needs some level of stability. It's not had any stability for about 5 years now. They just keep cycling through players, keep cycling through managers. The fans aren't going to have any sort of affinity to a boss because they know he's going to be gone in 12 months. All the players because they know they're going to be flipped on and sold in 12 months. And you lose any level of club identity or tactical identity because you're constantly chopping and changing through bosses. I understand the sentiment, right? But it's a very different situation to Chelsea. Enzo Maresca doesn't have a 15th place finish and a loss to Grimsby in the Carabao Cup and a loss to Tottenham in the Europa League final and the worst managerial record in his club's history since World War II on his CV. Enzo Maresca was going through a difficult time form-wise in December, but again, he's an inexperienced manager who was doing well up to that stage and hasn't been backed by the board, arguably, in areas that he needed to be. Chelsea have spent a lot of money. Have they spent a lot of money on players that Enzo Maresca actually wanted to buy? Probably not. Manchester United, however, have spent a lot of money on players that Ruben Amorim actually wanted to buy, and they're still rubbish. But if you want to give a manager time and you want to, succeed and you want to break the chain of, constantly cycling through and constantly sacking managers, you've still got to hire the right man. You can't just hire anybody and then go, well, he needs time. He needs 3 years to build what's going on. If you give a builder, right, 2 years to build your house, and 1.5 years in, all you've got is a living room, and there's a sofa in there, and that's it, he's not the builder for the job. Don't bother giving him the rest of the 6 months. Allow it, move on to the next builder, because the house isn't getting finished. I don't think Ruben Amorim is even a bad manager, for what it's worth. I mean, okay, maybe I do. But, like, not a catastrophic manager. I don't think he's the worst manager to ever manage Manchester United. Manchester United are in a different spot than they have been at various points during their club's history, right? But I think, unfortunately for him, stubbornness and an unwillingness to adapt is really been the key problem. I mean, he came in and the players weren't there for him, all right? He wanted to play a certain system. The entire squad basically was not suited to that system. But instead of moderately adapting what he wanted to do, he stuck to his guns. And I respect that to a point, but when it doesn't work and you finish 15th in the league, you've kind of got to change a few things during that time. We all lambasted Ange Postecoglou for having a very similar season during the exact same season, but at the very least, he went and won a trophy. He changed Tottenham fans' lives, young Tottenham supporters who haven't seen their club win a trophy maybe in their lives. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you're playing a system with a group of 11 players and only about 2 of them, outside of the goalkeeper, feel like they're actually playing in the right position and the right role, you're playing the wrong system. I don't care. And especially after you've signed a few players that you would want, like a Patrick Dorgu. If everybody still looks like they're out of position, that's your problem. Bruno Fernandes shouldn't have defensive responsibilities. Amad Diallo shouldn't be playing at wing-back. Kobbie Mainoo should have a place in this team. Manuel Ugarte shouldn't be a footballer whatsoever. It's very simple things. Plus, just everything about him was anti what Manchester United fans want Manchester United to be. You know, if you go and ask any United supporter, what are the 3 fundamental things of being of United, especially since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, it's playing nice football. Ruben Amorim didn't do that. They played fucking horrible football half the time he was there. Winning, definitely didn't do that. And giving the youth a chance. And he didn't really even do that. He's had more than enough time to show more than what he's done up to this stage. But again, that can exist as a statement whilst also calling out the board and calling out INEOS, who are an absolute fucking state. I mean, I've made videos before on INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe and why they are not the guys to take you as a club to where you want to be. To be honest with you, I'm actually still kind of chilling, because whilst INEOS own this football club, you lot ain't succeeding. But it's a mess, and it begs the question as to who's gonna come in next. You let me know who you think is gonna be the next Manchester United manager, though, down in the comments section below. As I mentioned at the start, if we could get 6,000 likes on this video, I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
You